The Braves are now 13-2 on the young season. You know, the Pirates got a great start from the veteran right-hander A.J. Burnett the other night, and they'll need a real good start from a veteran left-hander, Wandy Rodriguez. But, Bob, Wandy hasn't pitched in 11 days because of that hamstring injury.
Well, let's hope he's strong, because this is a very good Atlanta Brave offense that it can really just hammer the baseball. And Wandy, this is not an ideal situation for him coming back after that leg injury where he really got that hamstring tight on him, hold it a little bit, because it's going to be cool, it's going to be damp, and you're going to have to see a lot of this probably. He'll be stretching it out, trying to make sure that it does not tighten up in tonight's conditions.
Well, a veteran right-hander will start for the Atlanta Braves. He's been around a long time. He's a real good one. It's Tim Hudson. He aims for his 200th career win tonight.
Yeah, you got to be around for a long time to go for number 200, but you know that's not the whole story. He's always been tough against us. Look at his career numbers in 12 starts, ERA under 3. So it will not be an easy game. Good offense for the Braves, tough pitching. I guess that's why they're 13-2.
Hey, you were, of course, expecting to see the Penguins tonight in Boston on Root Sports. Obviously, that game has been postponed, and, of course, our thoughts and prayers are with the folks in Boston, hoping that whole situation gets resolved. In the meantime, the Pirates and the Atlanta Braves meet in Game 2 of the 4-game series from PNC Park.
On Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
Wandy Rodriguez takes the field and will make his first start since injuring that hamstring on the 8th of this month in Arizona. He won his 2013 debut with a victory over the Chicago Cubs. Here's the Atlanta Braves starting lineup. They are 13-2. It's B.J. Upton, Jason Hayward, and Justin Upton. And maybe the best story in baseball in a long, long time is Evan Gattis, a pinch hit home run last night for the 26-year-old rookie. Chris Johnson at third, Dan Uggla at second, Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop, then it's Gerald Laird and Tim Hudson.
Take a look at Wandy's numbers, brought to you by Chevy. And too bad he did come up with that leg pull, because he really was on a roll to start the season. He had a very good, shall we call it, a World Baseball Classic season during spring training, where he pitched awesome. And then the first time out against the Cubs was fantastic, shutting them down. So hopefully this pulled hamstring won't slow him down at all, and he can get right back where he was. As we were talking earlier, this is a little bit of a challenge game for him. You know, not just coming back from the hamstring, but it's a very good lineup. They hit a lot of home runs, and it is a cool, damp night. Not perfect for coming back after a leg pull. You would like it to be nice and warm and make it to where it's real easy to get loose. But then Wandy threw on that night. It was with 20-some degrees here, and it didn't seem to bother him at all. So.
Yeah, that's right. He went with the short sleeves then. He's going with the short sleeves tonight, right? Without the long sleeve undershirt. Pirates defensively. Andrew McCutcheon, of course, is in center field with the Jose Tabata in left tonight, giving Starling Marte a rest. Travis Snyder is in right. Alvarez and Jones on the corners. John McDonald at short with Walker, his double play partner, and Russell Martin behind the plate. Pedro Alvarez, his first home run of the season last night. And for the most part, has played pretty solid defense, too.
You know, his last couple of games, too, Greg, he's centered the ball, got the barrel to it, straight back up through the middle. Maybe a sign he's coming around.
First pitch, strike. And another strike. First pitch, 51 degrees. A breeze, 19 miles an hour, and fairly humid. Bumbled up tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes on B.J. Upton.
So the 0-2 pitch up and in to Upton. That's exactly where Locke tried to throw 0-2 pitch and missed. Let it drift down the middle of the plate. Upton hit it out for a home run.
And tested right away. Alvarez, the bare hand, the throw. He got him. What a play to start the ball game for Pedro Alvarez.
A very tough play for Pedro. Awfully fast runner. Pedro had to do everything perfect to throw him out. Now Upton is swinging at an off-speed pitch, so he's kind of like lunging forward at it. Whew, boy, I don't know. That was really close, wasn't it? But you know, back to the way he swung at the ball, that almost gave him a head start coming out of the box.
Jason Hayward, a fly ball to center.
You see Tabata do that a lot. He'll get that head start coming out of the box.
So another look at the play at first. And maybe the Pirates got a call.
I don't know. Either way, it's tough to argue.
Yep. But a lot of times when you see a great play made, an umpire will err on the side of the defender.
Yeah.
Justin Upton homered last night along with his brother. Major League leading 9th home run for Justin Upton. Strike 1. Two for 10 lifetime against Wandy Rodriguez. And another strike. 0-2. Wandy Rodriguez traded over to the Pirates last summer from Houston. This is his 233rd career start.
He's certainly showing good control right off the bat. It's 2 balls that he's thrown, both of them 0-2 pitches. Fastball to really stand up, lead off Upton, and ground ball, or excuse me, curve ball in the dirt, in the ground, on an 0-2 pitch here.
Oh, got him with a fastball. Man, that was some pitching.
Great pitching.
Wandy Rodriguez. 1, 2, 3 and out. Bucks come to bat. Against Tim Hudson, here is Clint Hurdle's starting lineup. The Pirates are 7-8 through their first 15 games. The lineup brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward, Jose Tabata will be followed by Travis Snyder. This homestand hitting at a .381 clip. Andrew McCutchen hits third, then Garrett Jones, the cleanup man. Neil Walker will follow. He'll be followed by Pedro Alvarez, Russell Martin, John McDonald, and Wandy Rodriguez.
Hudson going for win number 200. One of the better pitchers in the league for a long time. Kind of reminds me a little bit of AJ. As he gets older, you wonder, does he have much left? Does he have much left? But until that happens, until he does fall off, he goes out there and puts up great numbers, just like AJ does.
First pitch, ball one to Tabata. 2 for 6 lifetime against Hudson.
When you were talking earlier, Greg, about when he won 20 games with Oakland, that was really kind of a reminder of just how many years he's been out there on the mound, how many innings he's pitched, how many games, and that always takes a toll. But still going.
Bounce to short. Simmons, a little bobble, getting that ball out of his glove, and now a close play at first base, and this one goes the way of the defender, in this case Andrelton Simmons. First base umpire Chris Conroy. And boy, Clint Hurdle doesn't agree.
Just like I was talking about B.J. Upton, about how he was kind of fooled, and so he was falling forward, reaching with that swing, and that gives him a better break going toward first base. Well, Tabata does that a lot. He really gets out on the front foot when he swings, and that always gives him a little bit of a head start going down that line. He makes a lot of routine plays close at first base like that because of the way he comes out of the box. Some guys, we're going to see the replay, see exactly how close it was. Darn close. Some guys have that violent upper body rotation. Looks like he was safe right there, which makes him kind of falling off toward third a little bit on the swing. They're slow to get that first step. Every now and then that'll hurt McCutchen, because he really has that real big, torque of his upper body. And it gets out of shape before he can take that first step. And so even though he has great speed, sometimes he gets thrown out on choppers that you think, well, he should have beat that out, but he doesn't get as good a break out of the box because of his swing style.
Home plate umpire is Sam Holbrook. He's the crew chief. Chris Conroy just made that call at first. Paul Nauert is the second base umpire. And Andy Fletcher at third as Travis Snyder swings and misses. 2-2 on Snyder, who was 2 out of 4 last night with a walk and a couple of runs scored, and now owns a modest 6-game hitting streak. Feeling more comfortable at the plate. Three balls, 2 strikes. Hitting .381 during the 6-game stretch. That's the 5th straight game that he's hit in the 2nd spot. 37-year-old Tim Hudson. Broken bat toward the line and right, and another hit for Snyder. Snyder's becoming the early doubles machine for this Pirates club as he doubles to right.
Likes to pepper that Clemente wall, doesn't he? One hopped it.
Snyder had a pair of doubles last night. Doubles in his first at bat tonight off Hudson.
Kind of nice having a left-hand hitter for a couple different reasons. Batting second in that lineup. Marte, if he gets on ahead of him, you put that first baseman right on the bag, opens up the hole for Snyder. If Marte ends up getting at second base, you have a left-handed Snyder, can pull the ball, move him to third. I like the lefty in the number 2 spot.
Check swing. Taken, 1 ball, 1 strike, and Clint Hurdle pointed out, he was asked that very question about the fact that Snyder 5 straight games now hitting in that 2 spot. In addition, for Snyder, it's never a bad thing, as Hurdle said, to bat in front of this guy, McCutchen. 1-2. There's that violent swing that Bob was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why occasionally he'll chop a ball to the left side with a swing like this, and that takes him a little, maybe just a blink of an eye to get back to where he can run. So he's a little slower going down that line than, actually he's fast going down the line, but the total time is slow because he doesn't get a good start. Doesn't get a good break out of that batter's box. Where if you're kind of fooled on an off-speed pitch and you're out there kind of reaching and leaning out over the plate to try and reach something, and then you top it, a little ground ball somewhere, you've already basically taken a half a step toward first.
Two and two. And inside 3-2. So he swung and missed at the one breaking ball, then laid off the previous Hudson breaking pitch and stays away from this fastball. Now it's 3-2 with Jones on deck. And diving stop by Johnson, and the out is recorded. Umpire at third, Randy Fletcher, said he had it.
Johnson was on the ground, perhaps even looking to take the ball out of the glove when he dropped it. Yeah, as he was rolling over, it looked like his right hand went in the glove to take the ball out.
Excellent play by Chris Johnson.
Still in the glove, hit the ground, still in the glove. There he is, going to take it out, and that's when he dropped it. Good call by Fletcher.
Garrett Jones has his own 6-game hitting streak going. Could not hold up on that breaking pitch. Jones batting .333 with 1 homer, 7 RBIs. Drove in a pair last night. He has hit safely in 10 straight starts. One ball, one strike. You talked to Garrett Jones on the pregame, I heard earlier today, the radio side. What do you have to say, Bob?
Well, we started off talking a little bit about Pedro Alvarez because they're similar left-handed power hitters and about hitting the ball through the middle. And Garrett was talking about that's where it all starts for him. He tries to get the ball through the middle so that he won't be out in front of off-speed pitches. And I was thinking about that when I saw him swing and miss that first off-speed pitch because he was out in front of it. But he doesn't think about trying to pull the ball by design. He doesn't want to get in that habit. He knows he's strong enough to hit a ball out of the ballpark anywhere out there, left, center, right. So he likes to think back through the middle, just firm, good contact, back through the middle, and then if he pulls the ball, he pulls the ball.
Lined at Gaddis. Boy, a couple of line drives. McCutchen lines out to Johnson, and Jones lines out to the first baseman, Gaddis. Annual honorary Batgirl contest designed to increase breast cancer awareness while raising funds to support breast cancer research. All men and women 18 and older encouraged to submit stories about how they or someone they know are going to bat against breast cancer and why they would like to be an honorary Batgirl for the Pirates. To share your story and to nominate a Pirates honorary Batgirl, visit honorarybatgirl.com by Monday. Here is Evan Gaddis. Fly ball to right. Snyder, one out. So Evan Gaddis, who had his first career pinch hit home run last night, flies out to start the second, and so far so good for Wandy Rodriguez as he faces Chris Johnson, the league's leading hitter. Rodriguez won his first start against the Chicago Cubs, going 6 2/3 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. Combining for a 3-0 shutout over the Cubbies. Johnson batting .438, 3 for 4 with a home run last night. Sure would have to say that the trade that they made, early results are heavily favoring the Atlanta Braves. The deal from Arizona, they got Justin Upton, the Major League's leading home run hitter, and Chris Johnson. Batting average wise, the leading National League hitter, and he drives one the other way towards Snyder.
I was wondering a little bit, Greg, about the trade, thinking that Upton's going from a place where it's very easy to hit home runs to Atlanta, which is, as we know, a big ballpark. But it certainly hasn't hurt him at all. 328, 9 home runs, 13 RBIs.
See the D-backs also acquiring 3 minor leaguers along with those players, mainly Martin Prado. But yeah, right now it's rather lopsided as Justin joins brother BJ here with the Braves. They signed BJ Upton as a free agent. Dan Uglett takes a strike. There's BJ Upton. So Freddie Gonzalez really liking this team early on. Only won 94 games last year. 1 ball, 1 strike on Dan Uglett.
I think all the preseason forecasters, majority of them anyway, we're talking Nationals.
Uglett pops this ball up to center, and it's going to be an 8-pitch inning for Wandy Rodriguez. 6 up, 6 down, 0-0. You can catch the game right here on Root Sports. Our coverage of the Bucks and Braves starts tomorrow at 6:30 with Pirates pregame. Here on Root Sports tomorrow night, 6:30. Game 3 of this 4-game series. Andrew McCutchen Awards bobblehead night tomorrow for the first 25,000 fans. They'll get Kutch bobbleheads, signifying the awards that he won last year. Gold Glover, Silver Slugger. Pitch to Neil Walker is a strike. Walker 0 for 3. Last night did draw a walk in his first inning at bat. It snapped his modest 6-game hitting streak, going 0 for 3. An interesting defensive alignment. They have their shortstop Simmons swung out almost behind second, and Walker last few games looks like he's been trying to go the other way.
Looks like they're trying to pitch him outside also.
He's a left-hand hitter that hits by direction. More often than not, he goes up the middle or the other way when facing a right-handed pitcher.
Tries it again. That was a breaking ball also. fouling it down that side. He's really very committed to left field. Off-speed pitch, breaks right down the middle, and tell by the swing, he was obviously left field the entire time, even on the slow stuff. Which means he's got a plan.
Away again, outside.
That's what you like to see. You know, I mean, that's better than just going up there and not knowing what you're going to do or what the game situation might call for.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. I know you and John in spring training talked a lot about, because you were teammates with Jay Bell, you thought that was kind of the approach he was going to have when he came over here. Not necessarily a mechanical guy, but talking to the guys about a game plan.
Yeah, not so much about where your hands are, where your feet are, things like that, but you know, what kind of hitting strategy are you going to employ?
Goes the other way, and it's past Upton. So Walker will have at least 2, and he wants more. Neil Walker goes into third with a triple to start the bottom of the second.
Well, that plan came together nicely, didn't it?
Sure did.
Nobody out, standing on third. Kept going away. And this pitch, as you can see, was actually off the plate outside.
Not a great looking attempt there by Upton as he went to the knees. And that enabled Walker to get his first triple since 2011. Infield will concede a run. And there's a high fly ball to right. Watch this baby get out of here. Oh, enjoy it. Oh, my. Pedro Alvarez, the big bull, just blasted his second home run.
He's feeling it.
My goodness, did he crush it.
Started a couple of nights ago. Remember the game that got washed out? He blasted that line drive back up through the middle. He's starting to really make good contact. Last night, the home run, the deep dead center.
He just puts the bat down and puts his head down. Man, was that thing, that was one of the most majestic home runs we've ever seen here.
There wasn't any doubt that it was a home run. The only thing you're wondering about when he hits them like that is how far over the stands are they going to land.
And now Russell Martin goes the other way, nearing the wall, and off the top of the wall, Russell Martin into second base with a double. Triple homer double.
McDonald can hit for the cycle here with a single. Ball hitting high up off the committee wall.
Russell Martin had 2 hits, his first home run as a Pirate last night. Pedro Alvarez having to answer questions from his teammates about how that felt. Jonathan Sanchez there, Neil Walker. And John McDonald with the third baseman Johnson way in. Another look at the home run by Pedro Alvarez, his reaction.
Hit just off the back wall. The river walk. Yeah, Greg, I think you'll agree with me. Maybe you won't, but I think you will. He's probably going to have multiple balls in the river before he's done here.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
We've only had one since this ballpark has been built. But before Pedro's time as a Pirate is over, he's going to put a few of them out there. He is one of the most fun hitters to watch during batting practice. if you like to watch the long balls. He hits a number of balls just like the one he just hit during BP.
Just like A.J. Burnett was showing, impersonating the swing.
I thought it was very classy, too, the way he just put the ball down.
Put his head down, too, right?
Yeah, dropped his head and ran around the bases. Like he had done that, that's just so routine, okay. Almost like it was like, okay, ball 4, I got to get down first.
And Tim Hudson, a guy that historically does not give up a lot of home runs. In fact, the fewest home runs per 9 innings pitched in Major League Baseball the last 13 years. As John McDonald fouls that pitch off. McDonald traded over from Arizona during spring training. He is 1 for 8 in a Pirates uniform, giving Clint Barmas the night off. Three and 2. Pirates lead 2-0. Neil Walker a triple, Alvarez a majestic homer, and Martin doubles off the Clemente wall. And a strikeout of John McDonald.
John chased inside.
Some tweets about the Pedro homer. Hashtag Bucks Booth. Alvarez destroys baseballs. Vote for Pedro. El Toro means bull. Hashtag splash cam. Now Wandy Rodriguez takes a strike. 0 for 3 this season. There is splash cam.
He's all wrapped up, protected from the elements.
That's a hardcore viewer right there to know that that's the splash cam.
Yeah.
Oh, Wandy Rodriguez looks out at Tim Hudson. Another look from that splash cam. Obviously would have bounced into the river had it not hit that back retaining wall.
Yeah, another foot or so would have been on the grassy bank and down into the Allegheny.
Danny Corso working on that splash cam.
Was it Darrell Ward?
Yep.
He's the only player ever to hit one on a fly into the river. That was off Kip Wells. Darrell was playing for Houston, right?
Mm-hmm. Later joined the Pirates. Tapper, Hudson will look toward third, but no need. Easy play at first base for the second out. Well, Pedro Alvarez will show you what you will receive if you're 14 or under. Coming up on Sunday, it's the eco-friendly Rally Towel, thanks to Waste Management. Come early for the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street and stay after the game. Kids can run the bases. For tickets, go to pirates.com. 1:35, first pitch. The Rally Towel given away to youngsters. And the Pirates will hit the road for a while. So tomorrow night, game 3 of the series. Paul Mahalam against James McDonald. And then Sunday, Chris Medlin against the Pirates lefty Jonathan Sanchez. Strike called. Jose Tabata. He hits this one hard the other way. Very well hit by Tabata. He hits a ball off the Clemente wall into second base with a double. 3-0 Pirates. Man, they're flexing their muscles here. Early going against Tim Hudson.
Definitely not backing down from the Braves. They're showing the Braves they got a pretty good offense also. This offense was slow to get going this year, but we talked a lot about the potential early on, that there was a track record of good hitters, especially when we talk about the long ball up and down this offense. Guys with 20 or more home runs in a season.
5 hits, all for extra bases. 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run. Jose Tabata in the leadoff spot tonight.
And that's very encouraging to see Tabata. He's done it now a couple of times last few nights, maybe more than just a couple of times, where he has hit the ball hard toward the right center gap, which is his hallmark early on in his career. Those hard line drives the other way.
One ball and 1 strike, the count. Pirates with 5 extra base hits against Tim Hudson. Snyder doubled in the first. Bucks hitting just about 300 with 6 homers and 45 runs scored in their last 9 games, including tonight. This ball bounced to short. And the throw gets Snyder. The Pirates, big 3 spot on the board, a Walker triple, and then this massive Alvarez home run.
Ball on Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks.
Root for the P. And for Pedro. 3-0 Pirates lead. Alvarez, who homered last night, crushes one here in his first at bat tonight. Jose Tabata added an RBI double, and now Wandy Rodriguez, who has retired the first 6. Breaking pitch stays up. Andrelton Simmons 0 for 3, scored a run last night. 23-year-old shortstop out of Curacao. Rodriguez off the mound. Yes, Simmons. Here's our day automotive. This day in baseball history. 2002, Mariners third baseman Jeff Cirillo ties a major league record. 99th consecutive errorless game at third base. The man he tied was John Wehner. Of course, it took Rock 8 seasons, as John will tell you, to reach those 99 games. Cirillo did it in about 4 months. Thanks to Day Automotive, we're going to make your day. And interestingly enough, of course, John Wehner would find out after that 2000 season that had he not made an error, the final game ever in the history of Three River Stadium, ending that streak at 99 games, of course, would have been 100. But Jeff Cirillo, after he tied Wehner, the next night in the 6th inning, boots a Bill Hasselman ground ball. Hasselman, Texas Rangers catcher, hit a ground ball to Cirillo playing third. He booted it for the air, so both Cirillo and Wehner tied for the Major League record, 99 consecutive games. 2-1 on Gerald Laird.
It's a tough position to go very long without any errors. The ball's going to eat you up, gets down there, a lot of tough hops at third, and then you have one of the tougher throws to make on the infield. You have all those swinging punch. You got to come in, try to bare hand. I know you're not going to get an error if you miss a bare hand, but now you're going to make that off balance throw. If you throw it away, you're going to get an error.
Gerald Laird on a 3-1 pitch. Flies out to Tabata.
So to go 100 games, even whether it's 4 months or 4 seasons, it doesn't make any difference. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think they're both very impressive because, in a way, the Wehner's record is, I mean, think of that. He has to do it over a long stretch of time. So he's going in there, maybe late inning defensive replacement, then a little more pressure on you.
I think you could argue either way.
I could just hear him now.
Well, I know John himself has kind of downplayed the whole thing, so
know.
that's why I said that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what to think of that. You know, as far as
what's tougher, you mean?
Yeah, I think you would have to actually live it, go through it, and you know, which way is tougher, easier?
Well, we'll say it's Wehner's is tougher. At least I'll say that.
All right. Fair enough.
And then we'll argue on this upcoming road trip.
Okay. No, there won't be any argument.
No?
Whatever John says is fine with me. I don't know. But I know what he's going to say.
What do you think? You're watching it. Give us a shout out. Hashtag Bucks Booth. Which is tougher? What Cirillo did, doing it in a few months, or Wehner over a few years? Errorless games at third base. One ball, 2 strikes, the count on the pitcher, Tim Hudson. Wandy Rodriguez, perfect through 3 innings. Couple of strikeouts. He and the Pirates lead 3-0.
Atlanta Braves here in Pittsburgh. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Well, Tim Hudson going for a pretty impressive milestone tonight, win number 200, as you heard earlier. And the thing that's most impressive in the eyes of Clint Hurdle on Tim Hudson is the way that he's been able to evolve in his career. He said he reminds him a lot of A.J. Burnett in that he learned how to pitch over the season. The competitive fire is richer, and he's a lot more mature. And he also reminds him a little bit of Adam Wainwright. Good awareness, and he's had to re-identify himself and had to make adjustments. So pretty impressive praise from Clint Hurdle, who's been a baseball man for a very long time, on Tim Hudson tonight.
Strike call, good call there, Robbie, and kind of what Bob was saying, that you look at a Hudson or a Burnett as they get up there, and in terms of Hudson, 37 years old, Burnett 36, but both continue to be impressive. If Robbie is still there with us, maybe after this at bat by Andrew McCutchen, we're going to ask Robbie a question. 0-2 on McCutchen, who lined out to Chris Johnson in the first. Robbie, I think when you were standing there, that chair next to you, the stool, what did you place on the stool just before you went on camera?
Oh, my gloves. That's what you're getting at, aren't you?
Oh, I just want to make sure. Yeah,
little
chilly.
Little it's 50 and a little bit windy.
Fly ball to center. It almost looked as though B.J. Upton misjudged the carry on that ball, but stuck with it. The ball rides out to the track.
The wind is really been swirling, and right at that instant, it was going straight out. It's been blowing in, left, right, all over the place. See if we can see the flags on this. Look off to the left. See how the flags are blowing straight out? I think that caught Upton by surprise. Yeah. But they've been moving all around tonight. Sometimes just no wind at all. What makes it tough for the outfielders? Right now they're pushing anything that's hitting the air toward the fence.
0-1 on Garrett Jones, lined out in the first. Robbie doesn't mind us giving him a little grief because our partner in the radio booth tonight, I'm sure he's got a pair of gloves too. Maybe even the Elmer Fudd hat. 0-2 on Garrett Jones. There we are.
Cold down there.
Just like Steve Blass. Whoa! Not yet. Not yet. He'll have them. Still 0-2 on Garrett Jones. Grounded to second. Ugla. 2 outs. More tweets. Hashtag Bucks Booth. It would be harder to be airless over 3 straight months because you have to be perfect every day, like being on a hit streak. I'm saying John's streak, more pressure, more tenacity, more resiliency. I think it's definitely harder to do it over a night-to-night basis. 4 years is a lot of rest. Night-to-night, a lot of fatigue. All good points. Hashtag Bucks Booth. Record of consecutive airless games shared by Jeff Cirillo and John Wehner. 99 games. Walker tripled in the second. Hudson quickly out in front, 0-2. Tim Hudson, born in Columbus, Georgia, grew up in Phoenix City, Alabama.
Hudson obviously is a long time, veteran pitcher, very good major league pitcher, going for win number 200. So what you've got to remember is just because he gave up 3 runs earlier in the game doesn't mean, he's off tonight, we're going to really put a big one on him. He might settle down now and just throw up a whole bunch of zeros.
So often happens, right?
Yeah, you got to keep the pressure on him. Don't take anything for granted, thinking, okay, Hudson's got an off night. He may be done giving up runs for the night.
I saw his career ranks among active pitchers for Tim Hudson. An outstanding major league career. Grew up a Braves fan. Won 92 games with Oakland, 107 wins with Atlanta. shot past Ugla. Neil Walker is 2 for 2 with a triple and a single.
No goal in the left this time. Jumped out there and turned on it.
Interesting, too. That's how he was pitching to him this at bat, huh? Yep. Totally different. For
everything away last time, burning for a triple. They made an adjustment. Neil makes an adjustment.
Ugla's attempt on the AGH cam.
Good job on Neil's part. You know, realizing probably in the on deck circle, thinking about it. Like they'll probably change after I burn them to left field last time up. They're probably going to try and come in, so he's looking in there and turned on it.
Pedro Alvarez last night throw the ball off the green monster, the batter's eye in center, and in his first at bat off Hudson last inning, this blast. As we have seen with the Pedro, this might mean he's going to go on a tear for a time. Had some phenomenal stretches last year, but Hudson comes back to get him this time. Pirates still lead 3-0. West sinks a buzzer beater in the '98 NCAA tournament to defeat Cincinnati, send the Mountaineers to the Sweet 16. Hear the story retold by West, Bobby Huggins, Brent Solheim, Tony Caridi, while you relive this bracket-busting classic. Sunday Night Classics, Boise buzzer beater, Sunday at 8 on Root Sports. Need the eye black tonight? Not really, but Pirate fans have that on, and so far so good for Wandy Rodriguez. He's been on his game through the first 3 innings. 9 up, 9 down. PJ Upton takes strike 1. Retired on a fine play by Pedro Alvarez, leading off the ball game.
How good Wandy is at getting the ball in on right-handers. Really a strength. He's one of the reasons he's so good at it is I'm convinced that he doesn't have fear of hitting anybody. He'll throw the ball in there. Occasionally he plunks someone, and that's just part of the game of baseball. Upton, I'd like to have that pitch back.
right down the middle. Martin had set up the outer part of the plate. Stays 2-2 on B.J. Upton.
Robbie missed that one down in the pit. Didn't have his gloves on.
Strikeout of B.J. Upton. 3 Ks for Wandy Rodriguez.
Watch the location. Outside, boom, there it is. That's hitting your spot. You see the target moves outside, that's where the ball goes. There's Robbie. Look at his eyes. He's following it, following it. Oh.
Kind of a half-hearted effort, I would call that.
He didn't watch it, though. I mean, he had the eye lock on it.
Yeah. So.
Well.
He didn't reach for it, though. Just stuck his hand out.
He might have been thinking he could get a bad hop off the,
I bet that's
off the
right.
railing.
Good call.
He didn't want to get a bad hop.
Robbie Itzmakowski has the record for most errorless games by an in-game reporter.
What, are you making fun of my error that I just made down there?
No, that's not an error. You see, you did. It really is not an error. We talked to the official score, so your record's still intact.
Because I didn't go for it, is that why?
It was more of an Olay.
I can't even feel my hands. I tried to give that ball to a young man up there, and I overthrew him, and he was 4 rows behind me.
Oh, great.
Can't even feel my hands, Greg.
Get those gloves on. There you are. By the way, Blass is asking for them now. 1-2 on Jason Hayward. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hayward flied to center in the first.
Hayward, one of the Brave hitters, not off to all that great of a start. There are a few guys in the lineup that are hitting under 200. Hayward, one of those guys. He's working on it, though, with that base hit. First
Base runner of the game for Atlanta after Wandy Rodriguez retired the first 10. Barrel Automotive League leaders. Major League leader right here in homers, Justin Upton. Barrel Automotive, driven to be better. And B.J. Upton for the second time already homering in the same game. And that's a double play ball. McDonald to Walker to Jones. And to the bottom of the fourth, 3-0 Bucks. 3-0. Pirates games are more fun in groups. Ask about how each member of your group can take home a Pirates cap or Roberto Clemente jersey. Plus, you get a great discount. Give your group a night to remember. Book your group outing by calling 1-800-5BUCKS or go to pirates.com/groups. Oh and 1 on Russell Martin. Doubled off the wall in the second. Pushes a bunt. Foul. Not a bad idea there, Bob.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to run that ball over the first base side, see if he could get Gaddis playing a little too deep. Yeah, Martin, he runs much better than a lot of catchers. He's going to try and use his legs every now and then. Good base runner. Loves to play the infield. Got a little taste of third base the other night. I think he tried to talk the Pirates and Team Canada into letting him play short during the World Baseball Classic.
Reaches out and gets enough of it into center.
Reaches out is right. That was a pretty good breaking ball. Looked like it's off the plate away. Got the last couple inches of the bat on it. Where this pitch is, it's about 6-7 inches outside. Seven hits now for the Bucks.
Simmons to Ugla and to first for a double play. Martin did all he possibly could. Went in hard to second.
Yeah, flying right over the top of the bag. I think he was anticipating maybe Ugla being on the other side of the bag. Ugla stayed on the outfield side. Was able to get away from him. Watch him back off. See, the outfield side got away from him. If he would have been on the shortstop side, it would have been a different story. I think Martin would have been able to put him on his backside.
One and one on Wandy Rodriguez. Tapper up the first base line, and he will be retired. A leadoff hit, then the double play. Rodriguez bounces out. Buccos up 3-zip through 4. To begin a rehab assignment tonight with the Braves AAA affiliate Gwinnett. Freeman on the DL with a right oblique strain in April. Expects to be ready to return on Monday. Injury update brought to you by our friends at Allegheny Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pirates. Bucks leading at 3-0. So in the meantime, with Freeman on the disabled list, Brian McCann, the all-star catcher, also on the DL. Freddie Gonzalez has gone to Evan Gattis, who catch majority of the first 15 games, and tonight with a little experience at first base, but he likes to have that big bat in there. Evan Gattis. Last night, the pinch hit home run. That home run gave them the victory. It was tied at 4. He hit the homer off Jared Hughes. Gattis said, "A third sinker in a row. I'm hunting that." Jared Hughes trying to throw another one, and not that time. Evan Gattis now with 5 homers, 12 runs batted in.
That was a quote, huh? Third sinker in a row.
Evan Gattis, 23rd round pick in 2010.
He seems to be very confident, apparently.
He sure is.
Third sinker in a row, and I was hunting that. Did
yeah.
you see the replay of his first home run? Well, maybe we'll show that sometime tonight. I don't know how easy that would be to come by. Off Doc Holliday.
Ball and strike on Gattis, who been through a lot. Was out of baseball for quite a while. Through some drug and alcohol issues. Signed with Texas A&M out of high school. Wound up in drug rehab for a while, and then wandered the western part of the country, various odd jobs. So here is the first home run you're talking about.
This is his first major league home run off Doc Holliday. Greg, watch the bat.
Oh my goodness! Holy moly!
See him flip the bat?
Oh yeah! I'm sure Doc Holliday saw it too.
Yeah, very confident young man. And so he was hunting that third sinker, huh? Like I said, very confident young man.
They called him El Oso Blanco after tearing up the Venezuelan Winter League. The White Bear.
Cool nickname. Guess that would also make him a polar bear.
I think so. I think we talked about that in spring training.
I think we did, didn't we? In Orlando, Disney.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, he likes the cool weather. He's got the arms out there.
I heard Don Sutton, the Hall of Famer and a play-by-play and color analyst on Braves radio, compare him to Bob Horner. I know Horner was a teammate of yours, talking about his quick bat. And there's a liner toward left. Tabata right there. Gattis lines out to left.
Interesting comparison. I'd have to watch Gattis play quite a bit more, but yeah, Horner had a very short, quick swing. And obviously was quite a power hitter for a nice little stretch of years there.
No batting gloves.
He's a little, I think, looks like he's in a little bit better shape than Bob was.
Ball one on Chris Johnson.
Horner was, that was a little length of time there. He was as good a power hitter as there was in the league. For some reason, I want to say he hit 4 home runs in one game. I want to say it was in Los Angeles. I don't know. I'm probably exaggerating.
Well, no,
I'm not remembering it right.
We'll look that up, and if you're right, we'll confirm it and praise you.
Yeah, I know.
If not, we won't mention it.
And then it'll just kind of go by the boards. Yep. You know the game. You know the drill.
I do. 2-1 on Chris Johnson.
Kind of a very different story, though.
Horner, you mean?
Gratis took forever to get to the big leagues. Horner never played a day in the minor leagues.
Just burst onto the scene.
Not a single day in the minors. Came right to the big leagues. Right out of, I believe it was Arizona State. I better look that up.
Bob, you were right on again. July 6, 1986, 4 homers, and like you said, against Montreal.
Oh,
you're unbelievable.
I know they were wearing blue hats. That's all I remember.
2 outs, nobody on. Dan Uggla takes the strike as the Pirates go to that pull shift. 3 infielders on the left side. And all by his lonesome Garrett Jones. Just missed. Martin held it there for a little while. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Pop up. Jones over toward the seats. That ball's going to come back. Garrett kind of misread it.
Looked like a play at Old Candlestick Park, huh? The swirling wind. Every pop fly at Candlestick was always all hands on deck. You took nothing for granted with the wind all over the place there. And that's similar to what we got going tonight.
Yeah, he takes care of him via the strikeout. Tremendous work so far. Three-zip go to the bottom of the 5th inning. With the events in Boston still unfolding, tonight's Pens and Bruins game postponed until tomorrow afternoon. You can see the game right here on Root Sports, starting at noon with Penguins pregame, followed by the puck drop at TD Bank Garden at 12:30. Looking good, Bob.
You ever gone home late at night after a game and fired up the grill? I'll bet you haven't. It doesn't seem like you.
I fired up the grill, but not after a ball game late at night.
Just to kind of warm your hands?
No. Have you? Obviously, you have.
I think I probably have. Not in a long time.
But you sure got me thinking now.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking at those burgers on the grill, thinking, that would be kind of a neat thing. You have a couple of burgers just before you have to go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah. A couple slices of pepper bacon on top.
And just head right up to bed after that.
Yeah.
Fire down a couple of those big burgers.
Yeah. Why not?
Hit the rack. Yeah. 3-0 on Tabata.
How about throw it with a milkshake? Wash it down with a milkshake.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What do you think, Laurie? 3-1 the count. And a leadoff free pass. Now, historically, Hudson has been pretty tough to run on, but we'll point out something that I think Clint Hurdle was really hinting about this last night, especially with Julio Teheran on the hill. But if you look at Gerald Laird's numbers from behind the plate the last couple of years, he has really struggled trying to throw out runners. Last 3 years, he's caught just 10 of 77 attempting to steal. We'll see if Tabata wants to be on the move at all. Snyder has doubled and grounded out.
One of the things that you're more inclined to do when you have a lead like the Pirates have right now, 3-0, is to be more aggressive on the bases. So I would be surprised if at some point, if Tabata feels like he's got to jump, that he doesn't go ahead and take off.
Lead-off free pass.
Not really a big lead.
Yeah, Rick Sofield, first base coach. Tabata stole 19 bases as a rookie in 2010. 26 attempts at the big league level. He was 25 out of 31 at AAA Indianapolis that year. One ball and 2 strikes on Snyder. Now with a 7-game hitting streak. Boy, if the Pirates get what the Blue Jays thought they were going to get out of Snyder, they've got quite a player. Snyder was drafted in the first round by the Blue Jays in 2006. He was the 14th pick in the draft that year. They really were planning on rebuilding that team around Travis Snyder.
Well, Greg, if you look at our lineup with a cup half full attitude, I mean, look at the upsides of almost everybody in that lineup. This could be a great offense. There's some ifs involved, but it's not out of the question at all for this club to have one of the better offenses in the league, in baseball for that matter.
Very well balanced attack.
You have speed, you have power. Jay Bell could have a very strong year as Pirate hitting coach.
Liner to right. Base hit. Tabata holds at second. 2 aboard with nobody out for McCutchen.
Snyder's just really looking locked in. And maybe Snyder's not going to be the home run power guy. So what? What if he ends up with 8 home runs on the year, but hits 300 there and fills the ballpark up with doubles? What if he turns out to be a hitter like Walker is? I mean, that's a big plus. Hitting number 2. That's kind of goes back to my point. If you look at it with a positive attitude of what these guys are capable of doing. If they play up to their capabilities, including, Kutch, he's going to have to, have maybe not quite the season he had last year. He was like MVP-like, but he's probably going to be up there. He's going to hit 3-something, going to hit 25 to 30, maybe more home runs. Who knows? But everybody is capable of putting up much, much better than average numbers on this club. I think of the guys that are on this roster could have had 20 home run seasons.
Yeah, you're right. Look up and down.
And before the steroid era, 20 home runs, that was the mark of a power hitter. You were a 20 home run guy, you were a power hitter. And that's what we're back to.
Two and one on McCutchen. And now 3-1. So McCutchen, who tonight has lined to third and hit a ball to the warning track in center field, now 2 for 12 lifetime against Hudson, has Tabata at second, Snyder at first. Nobody out, and Pittsburgh up 3-0 in the fifth. Bases loaded with bucks for Garrett Jones. Now the bullpen is going to get to work as Roger McDowell, the pitching coach, pays a visit to Hudson.
It's been some hard work for Hudson. He pitched basically 4+ innings so far. He's already thrown over 80 pitches. So not only is the scoreboard against him, the bases are loaded, but it's been a hard working night for him. Much tougher than what he's used to.
Anthony Barbaro pitched well last night. Loosens up tonight. Garrett Jones lined out. His first at bat to Evan Gaddis. Last time up, he grounded out to the second baseman, Dan Ugla. You see the infield shortening up at third. His time is called. At third base, Tabata, he walked. Snyder singled. He's at second. Now McCutchen at first for Garrett Jones. Ball one. Garrett Jones last year hit 27 home runs and knocked in 86. Goes the other way. This could be trouble.
Get out.
And it does. And gets past Justin Upton to score on the opposite field single by Jones. Tabata and Snyder come across the plate. It's 5-0.
And that's going to be it for Hudson. Hit it like it's pitched. Ball's tailing away.
Scoring Tabata and Snyder. And Tim Hudson an early exit. Garrett Jones delivers the knockout punch. 5-0 Bucks.
I'm Rob King with this Root Sports Game Break. Some of you were tuning in tonight expecting to see the Penguins taking on the Boston Bruins due to the events unfolding up in Boston. That game has been postponed. We wanted to catch you up on our schedule over the course of the weekend. Our coverage tentatively of the Penguins tomorrow, if that game in fact goes on, begins at 12 with a 12:30 face-off. We will have the Braves and Pirates tomorrow night. Our coverage begins at 6:30. The Sabres and Penguins has been moved to Tuesday night. Coverage there begins at 7 o'clock. Now let's head back to Greg and Bob at PNC Park.
All right, Rob, thanks very much. Tim Hudson goes just 4 innings, 4+, responsible for McCutchen and Jones. And this ball hit toward the center fielder, B.J. Upton. McCutchen will tag but not advance. So Navarro comes in to get the first man.
I think Kutch would have made it.
Yeah, I do too.
And that's a chance that up 5-0 you could probably go ahead and take.
He got the win last night. He went 2 innings, 6 up, 6 down. Alvarez homered off Hudson in the second, struck out his last time. And time is called. Just the 6th time since 2008 that Tim Hudson has gone 4 innings or less in a game. Opening day this year for him against the Phillies, he went 4 1/3, but had thrown 90 pitches. Nothing in 1 on Alvarez. 2 on, 1 out. Bucks up 5. Gets away. Now McCutchen will move up, but runner at first. Jones stays put. Wild pitch.
A little easier for Kutch to move up because that ball bounced off to the third base side. He's not going to get thrown out at third on that. And if Garrett did not break right away, then he made the right decision to stand there. He would have probably made it if his break was just totally immediate, right when Kutch broke. But if there was any hesitation at all, then you have to stay there.
Another ball in the dirt. Two and 1. Alvarez chases.
And twice in a row, fastballs upstairs. Maybe not in a row, but his 2 swing and misses have been fastballs upstairs. So having come down just a little bit, not at the letters.
Again in the dirt.
He's laying off those nicely. 3 bouncers in there. He hasn't taken a bat off his shoulder. He's seeing that breaking ball real well. Recognizing it anyway extremely well, so that he's not even tempted to offer.
Three and 2. Looks at that one right there. Strike 3.
Locked him up, inside corner fastball. A little bit of a tail on that ball, kind of moved it back toward the strike zone.
Now 2 down. And Russell Martin. Barbaro from Staten Island, New York, was claimed off waivers by the Braves from the Mariners before the 2011 season. And Martin takes ball 1. I guess you could say a couple of ducks on the pond.
So the same 2 ducks from the other night, I believe. When it rained, they were out on the tarp. They're our resident ducks. They call PNC Park home. A little grazing.
B.J. Upton,
yes,
taking all this, thinking, what are you guys going to do here?
The female can't be more than about 6 feet from him.
Three balls, no strikes now on Russell Martin. John McDonald is on deck. And now Gerald Laird out to talk to his pitcher. Yeah.
She was over on that dark colored grass next to where he's standing. She's moved away a little bit, but no fear. What are they eating, Greg? Bugs? Grass?
Oh. They really looked like they were being really careful to Russell Martin. John McDonald on deck. Here comes McDonald. Russell Martin reaches for the 3rd straight time. He's had a couple of real strong nights, as Martin. And McDonald has struck out and bounced into a double play. Martin was on base 3 times last night. The veteran John McDonald. Takes a strike. He is 38 years old. Half of the 2011 season with the Diamondbacks. Spent all of last year with Arizona, hit .249. They're just like surrounding B.J. Upton, walking around.
I think B.J.'s talking to him a little bit now. He's really enjoying their company.
Yeah, he's got a couple friends out there.
They're going to go see his brother.
Yeah.
This is their house. They like it here.
In the dirt. Oh, McCutcheon does not break. As Laird gets to it rather quickly, and Laird sacrificing his body to keep that ball from going back to the backstop.
Able to keep it close enough.
McCutcheon, Jones, and Martin are the base runners. One ball, 2 strike count on John McDonald. Did he go? He did, and the Pirates might get a run out of it. They will. If McDonald can get to first, he does. What a crazy play that is. And the Pirates lead 6-0. Strikeout and a wild pitch.
There's a breaking ball that didn't get blocked. It looked like Laird just tried to pick it out of the dirt with his glove like a first baseman. He was doing a pretty good job getting down, blocking those balls. Barbaro heads up, running in there to give Laird maybe a chance at a force there at the plate instead of having to throw it all the way to first.
Oh, 2 on Wandy Rodriguez.
If Laird knew that was going to bounce, he's got to get down and throw up the roadblock instead of just trying to pick it with his glove.
Rodriguez down on strikes, but the Pirates send 9 men to the plate, and they score 3 more. They lead at 6-0.
Reliever Mark Melancon, Greg and Bob, who spent last season playing for the Boston Red Sox, and he never understood last year in his first year just how big Patriots Day was. And as part of his daily walk to the ballpark at Fenway where he lived, he walked right along the marathon route right there where the explosions took place on Monday. So it's been pretty profound effect on him. He's very happy to see the city work together, and he enjoyed his time in Boston. Even though his numbers weren't that great last season that he put up, the fans supported him a lot, and he's pretty upset, obviously, as you could expect this week by the events that took place on a route where he spent a lot of time walking to and from in Boston.
Well, Robbie, he may not have performed as well as he would have liked in Boston, but the Pirates are thrilled to have been able to acquire him. He has been tremendous here with the Bucks. Been a great setup man. And that Sox game was postponed. Boston was scheduled to host the Royals. Mark Melancon, I don't know if he'll be needed tonight. We'll find out as we go to the 6th with Wandy Rodriguez leading 6-0, facing the bottom third of the order. He's faced the minimum through the first 5. Book closed on starter Tim Hudson. 4+ innings, 6 runs, 9 hits. Pendleton Simmons bounces this one hard. A nice backhand pick. A little look of the baseball, and they've gone across by Pedro Alvarez. Pens and Bruins game has been postponed until tomorrow afternoon, and you can see the game right here on Root Sports starting at noon with Penguins pregame, followed by the puck drop at TD Bank Garden at 12:30.
Wandy has thrown 42 strikes, just 19 balls. One of my questions at the beginning of the game was, this little bump in the road for him with his leg and missing a start, was it going to throw him off track from what looked like was going to be a great start to his season? That's been answered. No, it's not thrown off at all. He's as sharp now as he's been all spring. He looks great. There's the way the spread is as I was talking. 42 strikes, only 19 balls.
There's another strike and another out.
Yep.
In a hurry.
Well, that's what you can do. 6-0. Now it becomes really easy to throw strikes. You know that one swing can't hurt you at all. You can really get aggressive in that strike zone. And that's what he is doing.
Play made by Neil Walker. Blake DeWitt will pinch hit now for Navarro. Veteran Blake DeWitt. Just a couple of at-bats. And 2 balls, no strikes. Bounces this one to Walker. Wandy Rodriguez is cruising through 6. 6-0 Pittsburgh. Pirates are leading at 6-0 at PNC Park. Game 2 of this 4-game series against the Atlanta Braves. Wandy Rodriguez has allowed 1 hit. Veteran Luis Ayala takes over, the 35-year-old native of Mexico. Luis Ayala made his Braves debut a week ago, acquired from Baltimore on the 10th of this month for a minor league left-handed pitcher. Over his 9-year major league career, he has appeared in 499 games, all in relief.
A lot of fun tonight at the ballpark. It's been all Pirates. A ton of hitting. 9 hits, most of those extra bases. That long drive by Alvarez got over the bleachers in right field out into the Riverwalk. Pedro sitting next to Marte, who's got the night off. Been on a torrid stretch. Ripping base hits all over the place in that leadoff spot. Had a tough night last night, though.
Clint Hurdle, in his media scrum before the game, asked members of the media in his office to raise his or her hand if anyone had ever struck out 5 times in a major league game. And he was the only one that raised his hand. He said, "Yep, I've done it." I told him that today. Last player to do it, June 16th of last year, Bryce Harper.
I've heard of that name. Pretty good player, isn't he?
A lot of good players over the years have struck out 5 times, 6 times, in fact, in a game. Guys like Cecil Cooper and Sam Horn, Jeff Jenkins. How many 6 times in a game? 5, by the way, is the Pirate record, so he matches that mark. As Tabata, who walked his last time and scored in the 5th, leads off here in the 6th. Starling Marte seated between A.J. Burnett and Jonathan Sanchez. Tabata had an RBI double off the Clemente wall in the 2nd.
Looks warm, doesn't it?
Ground ball to 2nd. Ugla goes out Tabata.
Did you like that hat, Nick?
It's kind of nice. I don't know how. You think it's really warm, that hat?
I'll bet you it is. Yes, it's warm. See? Looks like it'd be a great snowboarding hat.
Need it tonight. I have to think that that's Pete Thomas' favorite, the parrot hat.
A couple of those at our house, and the granddaughters have them. They love them. And they're warm also. Put one on my big head just to see what it's like.
Was it fun?
Toasty, yeah.
Did you laugh as soon as you put it on? Everybody else laughed around. Now that's warm. That is warm.
Now those are the gloves that Robbie should have.
Yes. Robbie, can you work on that next time? 2-1 pitch on Snyder. It's 2-2. On base twice more tonight. And of course, when you get a couple of hits this early in the season, you can bring that batting average way up, which he has done. 342, I believe, currently. A 3-2 count on Snyder. Full count pitch from Luis Ayala. And a walk. Snyder again getting on base. Here's McCutchen. Bucks host the Braves tomorrow at 7:05. First 25,000 fans get one of these Andrew McCutchen Awards bobbleheads. Compliments of Trib Total Media. It's also an Eaton Park Scratch and Win Saturday. All fans get a scratch card good for prizes from Eaton Park. For tickets, go to Pirates.com. The Andrew McCutchen Awards bobblehead. See the gold glove there?
We'll go out on a limb and say that'll be the most popular bobblehead we've ever had. Highly sought after.
Get your tickets, Pirates.com, for tomorrow night's game. And First 25,000 fans will get one of those Andrew McCutchen Awards bobbleheads. McCutchen tonight has lined out, hit a ball to the warning track, and walked. And he has scored a run. Bounces that foul. Past Nick Leva. Up. So going to retrieve that and get it to the right party. Yeah.
Perfect.
And he's getting out of there. He's got the ball. He's gone.
Well, he came a long ways for that baseball. Going up to the club level. He's still going.
All right.
There, he made it.
Get the picture.
Let's show the baseball. There you go.
And then maybe he'll tweet us.
Tweet the booth.
Hashtag Bucks Booth. And now he's going to go back for more. Okay, I got that one. And McCutchen, frustrated, goes down on strikes. 2 away. Yep, back down for. Oh, he just wanted to show Dad. Okay. Back down there just in case he gets some more. Yep.
Who knows where that ball came from? There might be more to come.
Yep.
That's a good area for foul balls right there. You always have to be ready. If you made a little chart, seating chart of where the highest percentage of foul balls go, that area would have to be up there a little bit.
Fly ball to right. So Ayala pitches a scoreless bottom of the 6th onto the 7th. 6-zip Bucks.
Major League Baseball, the Atlanta Braves. A couple moments ago, we talked about the connection that pitcher Mark Melancon has to the city of Boston. Tomorrow, fans attending the game here at PNC Park can do their part to help contribute to families affected by the Boston tragedy. Tomorrow night's 50-50 raffle, all proceeds will be donated to benefit onefundboston.org. So tomorrow, if you make your way out to the ballpark, find the people wearing the yellow shirts and buy a couple 50-50 raffle tickets and help support a very good cause. For more information, visit pirates.com/5050 raffle. And a very nice thing, Greg and Bob, that the Pirates are doing just to chip in and maybe in some small way make the day a little bit better for people in Boston.
Yep, good stuff, Robbie. Thank you. We go to the 7th, 6-0. Pirates lead it. strike. B.J. Upton, he's grounded out and struck out against Wandy Rodriguez. He has faced the minimum. And as a couple of other teams have done in the middle of the first tomorrow, he'll be singing Sweet Caroline. And you'll be swinging.
You swing to it also.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Lanson.
Fooled me. I thought he was warming up. I was going to say I've never seen that with the coat on before.
Three and two on B.J. Upton. Wandy Rodriguez has thrown just 70 pitches.
It doesn't look like Wandy's going to need much help tonight. Keeps going the way he is.
Retired the first 10 he faced before giving up a 1-out single to Jason Hayward in the fourth. Hayward on deck. And almost right away, Justin Upton hit into an inning-ending double play. So again, he's faced the minimum, allowing 1 hit through 6. Strikes out Upton looking. B.J. Upton barking a little bit at the home plate umpire. Sam Holbrook says, "Don't come near me."
He's going to get thrown out.
I can't believe he wasn't already. B.J. Upton tossed and now shoving his manager.
If you're going to get that upset, it should at least be a ball that you're arguing. This was definitely a strike. I don't know, man. You know, maybe the umpire said, but I mean, watch. Right in the middle of the plate, just a little above the knees.
He could not have thought that was a ball.
No.
Although he acted like he's going to walk toward first base and was surprised by ball 4 called there.
You know, I'm not saying he couldn't have thought that was a ball. Maybe he did. But you could see by the strike zone that we have down in the corner that that was definitely a strike. My point is, when you argue enough to get thrown out of a ball game, balls and strikes, it needs to be something that was a ridiculous call. I mean, that was, I guess you could make an argument to where it was borderline. But for me, you're still going to lose that argument. But you don't get tossed off arguing a borderline call. Now, maybe there was something else going on before that call, that it was just the straw that broke the camel's back. We don't know that either. Maybe they've been going back and forth, maybe some previous at-bats we didn't notice. But that was not a call that you get thrown out of the game over.
Hayward lifts one toward left center. It's Tabata.
You know, you would have thought, Greg, you probably agree with me, that he looked to be in a pretty good mood with the Ducks out there and everything earlier. Talking to the Ducks. But apparently we were reading that wrong. He's not in a good mood.
They won't be a bit happy.
They are going to be upset that their buddy is not going to join them again.
Somebody would say they're going to be honked.
Good one, Greg.
It wasn't mine, Bob.
I know.
Look at this, top it up. They're behind him now.
I think they already know.
They heard their buddy got tossed. Justin Upton hit into a double play his last time. Meanwhile, what can you say? What more can you say about the two veterans in this Pirates rotation? A.J. Burnett went 7 innings of one-hit shutout ball on Wednesday, as the Pirates blanked the Cardinals on a one-hit shutout. Of course, A.J. Burnett had the no-hitter going until 2 outs into the 7th. And now Wandy Rodriguez, he's allowed 1 hit through 6 2/3.
What's going on right here now? This is
unusual, right?
Yeah, at first Upton was backing out, and then Wandy started his windup and then decided to stop and call Russell Martin out.
Justin Upton, Major League leading 9 home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1 on Upton. Corey Guerin loosens for Atlanta. Now 3 and 1. Upton with 9 homers. He didn't hit his 9th home run with Arizona last year till August 3rd. 3 and 2. Like his brother, a first-round pick and the #1 pick in 2005. Bounced right to Walker. Wandy Rodriguez, through 7 innings, has faced the minimum number of Braves and has allowed 1 hit. The 1 base runner. We'll keep it right here for Take Me Out to the Ball Game as the Bucks and Wandy Rodriguez are leading the Atlanta Braves going to the bottom of the 7th inning, 6-0 here at PNC Park in Game 2 of the 4-game series.
For the 7th inning stretch, we invite you now to stand, follow the bouncing Eaton Park Smiley Cookie, and join the Gowanda Central Chamber Choir under the direction of Robin Smith, who will lead us in Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Great shots from the AGH cam tonight, including that last one of the effort by Robbie Intzmakowski on that foul ball. Reed Johnson takes over in center field. B.J. Upton was ejected. Pirates leading at 6-0 Going to the bottom of the 7th inning, Neil Walker, Pedro Alvarez, and Russell Martin. Ball 1. Walker tripled to start the 2nd and scored the 1st run. He was aboard when Alvarez hit that majestic home run. Walker singled to right field in the 3rd and fly to center field his last time up. And he takes 2 balls and no strikes. Walker trying not to get frustrated that first week and a half of the season. He's seeing line drive after line drive find gloves. He kept a positive attitude, knew that eventually they would fall, and that's exactly what's been happening.
Well, he has experience too to know that it's not going to continue to happen like that. It will change as long as you keep putting the ball out there with some velocity. It's going to find some holes for you. Heck, even if you don't put it out there with velocity, it's going to find some holes. It's what he went through last year. There was a period where he's hitting the ball well and not getting anything of it.
And he's on base for the 3rd time. And here comes Pedro Alvarez. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Well, that almost looks staged, I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah, I gotta think that might have been.
Terry.
There's some nice tall ones there.
Pedro Alvarez, the home run, and then a couple of strikeouts. Strike on Alvarez. Now Ayala ahead of Alvarez 0-2. Oh, nice catch.
But Angelica.
Is it?
Oh wait, no. That's
Angelica Marsh? No, that's Samantha Bautista, right?
Yep, that's who it was.
Great catch, Samantha. AGH cam.
Do they shift during the game, or is that where they start off?
I think they rotate.
Well, that might not be Samantha then. I know that Samantha started off on the 3rd baseline.
Well, I know that Zoe Hughes started at the home run wall.
Yes.
But you know, with this cold night, I don't know that may not be shifting.
It was a nice catch,
yes.
No matter who made the play.
And Alvarez, after the home run, maybe a little bit anxious. After that, has struck out the next 3 times up.
And the very next time up, they threw him a lot of slow stuff down and away, and he kept taking his fastball swing and some changeup that Hudson was throwing. That just looked like a good 2-seamer that he went after.
Freddie Gonzalez will now make a pitching change. 6-0 Pirates. We'll be back.
Sports Game Break. Some of you tuned in expecting to see Penguins hockey tonight due to the events in Boston this afternoon. There have been some amendments to the schedule. They are tentatively scheduled to play tomorrow at 12:30, so our coverage will begin at noon. We will definitely have the Braves and Pirates coverage beginning at 6:30 for that 7 o'clock game. And then the Sabres and Penguins game scheduled for tomorrow night has now been pushed to Tuesday night. Our coverage there begins at 7 for the 7:30 game. Now let's head you back to PNC Park and Greg and Bob. Guys?
All right, Rob, thanks very much. Corey Guerin takes over on the mound, and Russell Martin takes ball one. Martin has been on base 3 straight times. See Corey Guerin, though, limited action. 0 runs, 5 1/3. Martin, a couple of hits, plus a walk, a double off the Clemente wall in the second inning. Martin has now reached base in 7 of his last 9 plate appearances. Fly ball toward left. And Upton makes the catch. You see Guerin blows on the hand, so indicative of a cold night. Billy Murillo staying warm. Troy's out there. Troy's Hill. He's acting like he's sweating there. I don't know who that is. That's Keith Reese. Who's back there? Maul's back there. Terry. He's not cold, he says. I'm not cold. Cristal back there.
Well, Terry's the one you accused of the setup on.
I did not accuse him of that.
No, what'd you say?
I said that
you pretty much did.
I said that looked staged.
Okay, no, that's not accusing him of setup. Staged.
If it's factual, is it an accusation? Can you do that?
Brother must be a lawyer.
Two and 1 on John McDonald.
Charlie teach you that? Oh, that got John twice.
I've seen Charlie here tonight. Charlie Brown. Jeff Hayback. Nice and warm.
Well, we had summer here for a couple of days.
Yeah.
A couple of nights.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. But Guerin would be tough to run on, wouldn't he?
Yes. Yes, he would.
He does not take much of a stride or anything. It's almost like he's turning a double play. He gets rid of it. About as quick to the plate as you could possibly be. Kind of an unusual set position. Already leaning forward, and then he just continues on and throws it.
Fourth rounder in 2007, Corey Guerin. Appeared in 22 games last year with Atlanta.
Some pretty good seats.
Still 2 and 2 as John McDonald is getting a piece of it, and also a piece of Gerald Laird.
That one had to sting. And McDonald asked him if he's ready to go before he stepped in. Professional courtesy.
Lays off that pitch.
And that really kind of describes that guy. True professional. Everybody that's ever played with him, teammates, I tell you that.
John McDonald came to the big leagues with the Cleveland Indians, spent several years there, went to Toronto for a time, then to Detroit, back to Toronto.
Beating himself up. All him off his body.
And another foul ball.
Tried to hit that one down on his front foot. Robbie was very aggressive on that play. Look at him.
Oh, man.
Get that glove out there.
Oh, wow. Great try.
I like it, Robbie. I like it a lot.
Oh, my gosh. You know, this is part of the learning process for a guy, Robbie and Smikowski, coming to the Pirates.
I cannot be remembered for what took place earlier in this ball game. I have to make amends for it. I have to.
I know. You showed that.
Oh, well, we love the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
You showed me something there going after it.
Thank you.
You're not just laying back and waiting for it to come to you. You're trying to make something happen.
Boy, what a job here by McDonald, spoiling pitch after pitch. Gets a little bit of a smile out of an 11-pitch at bat.
Yeah, he doesn't get the start much, so he's trying to see as many pitches as he can. Just kidding. That's obviously he's just battling, and whatever happens, happens.
Finally, Guerin will win that battle. On to the 8th we go at PNC Park. 6-0 Pirates.
Reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, on very cold nights like tonight at the ballpark, you know exactly where you can find Jonathan Sanchez, right next to the heater at the end of the dugout. And as you see him, probably noticing that he's on camera right now, the heater is right below him. And I asked him, why are you constantly by the heater every time we have a cold night? He said, well, it feels like Puerto Rico, where he's from. I said, well, how in the world does it feel like Puerto Rico at the end of the dugout? He goes, oh, it's easy. It's 90 degrees, and it's breezy, and there's no humidity at all. So if there's any wonder where to find Jonathan Sanchez on a cold night, he's always going to be there, I promise you.
And Jonathan Sanchez, Robbie, will pitch on Sunday, the finale of this series against Chris Medlin. And tomorrow night will be interesting as James McDonald takes the mound once again. That'll be as big a start for James McDonald as he's had in his Pirates career. And some folks, despite the cold weather, enjoying what they see, a 6-0 Pirates lead as Mark Melanson takes over for Wandy Rodriguez.
What a start for Wandy. He was just totally outstanding tonight. Gave up one hit, faced the minimum through 7 innings. He probably his best start as a Pirate. I mean, just totally dominated the Braves.
82 pitches.
The Braves are coming in with an extremely potent offense, and he just shut them down.
Well, Evan Gattis flied to right, line to left against Wandy Rodriguez.
I'm not sure if Gattis looks like Bob Horner. He looks more like John Wayner up there.
I've said that to Wayner, and Wayner said no.
No,
Or like
really?
Scott Rowland. I think he looks like Wayner. I agree with you.
That stance.
Yep.
Might have his hands a little further back.
Bounce towards short. McDonald. Whoa, a little hop to Eric Jones. What do you think, Gattis and Wayner?
Look at the stance. Rock's a little more open. He's got further to go to close up that front shoulder, but they're both standing the same.
Well, we'll hear from John on the road trip as to why we're wrong.
Nice mustache there, John.
Yeah. Fly ball by Chris Johnson the other way. Pretty well hit, but Snyder there. A couple of steps in front of the wall.
And Melanson able to pick up right where Wandy left off. A couple of quick outs.
Look at this pitching line for Wandy Rodriguez.
No walks, 5 Ks. Extremely efficient. What do you think, Greg? Best start as a Pirate?
Yeah, no question in my mind. You know, in addition to all that, Bob, you're talking about a team in the Braves, the hottest team in baseball. He limited them to 1 Jason Hayward single. Ray Searage.
Quiet night for Ray.
Yeah.
No trips.
Dave Jouse next to him, veteran baseball man. The strike is called on Dan Ugla. It's 0-2 on the second baseman. His streak of 5 straight 30-plus homers ended last year, hit 19. And a career low 220 batting average. And another strikeout. Mark Melanson. 1, 2, 3, and out. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 6-0 Pittsburgh. in the 5th, and if you saw earlier, the Ducks were wandering out the outfield for a time, and got some tweets from hashtag Bucks Booth. Did you guys know the Ducks have a Twitter account at PNC Ducks or hashtag Bucks Booth? We did not know that. And look at this. Here's a tweet at PNC Ducks. Should we be flying south? It's cold up in PNC.
No, don't worry about it. It's going to be warming up for good here soon. Be okay. Enjoy a nice summer just outside the ballpark on the river. Swimming during the day. Feeding on the lawn.
Oh, by the way, I got an inside source tells me that those are sunflower seeds those Ducks are feasting on in the outfield.
Good call. Good call.
Yep.
Oh. I think I see him, Bert. They just fly over. I wonder if they prefer sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds. So you'll probably find both down there.
Do you ever cook or bake pumpkin seeds?
I personally have not, but it happens every year in our house. That's not my department.
Alex Presley batting for Melanson. Bounces to Ugla.
I don't even have to clean the pumpkins anymore.
Oh, you're a lucky man. When the Ducks aren't here. MLB.TV is celebrating 11 years. Join the millions of fans and subscribe today. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. Yet when the Bucks aren't here, you can watch them on the road on Root Sports. Some nights we have Bucks and Pucks. Sometimes Bucks,
all three.
And Ducks. Oh boy.
Yeah, we got Bucks, Pucks, and Ducks.
Oh boy. Yes, sir. Huh. Definitely a cold night. What do you got for a temperature right now?
It's 44.
Okay.
My guess.
47 maybe.
46 in Wexford.
Two and two. Corey Guerin came on last inning, got 2 men. Gets Presley here to start the bottom of the 8th, and now facing Tabata, a 2-2 count. Vin Mazzaro is loosening in the Pirates bullpen. Ugla throws out Tabata, who has been on base twice. Got the RBI double off the Clemente wall in the 2nd. Here's Mazzaro. The Pirates chased Tim Hudson in the 5th inning. And now Freddie Gonzalez is going to make another pitching change with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Pirates leading 6-0. Pitching change. Habitat for Humanity. See part 3 of our A.J. Burnett Mic'd Up segment. Hear how Doc Ellis initially got kicked out of a game and much, much more. In fact, Doc Ellis intentionally got thrown out of that game. Inside Pirates Baseball presented by Allegheny Sports Medicine. Tonight, after Pirates postgame on Root Sports. A.J. Burnett, you'll enjoy that Mic'd Up series. New second baseman, Ramiro Pena. New pitcher, Jordan Walden. He faces Travis Snyder, who's been on base 3 times. Walden acquired from the Angels for Tommy Hanson.
Walden coming in, just get a little exercise. Just one out, one pitcher, or one hitter, excuse me, if you can get him. Still right on left.
Two and one on Snyder. Double single walk. Walden a couple years ago saved 32 games for the Angels. Fouled out of play. Two and two. Full count. McCutcheon on deck. He'd like another shot. Try and get a hit. He did walk and score in the 5th. And still 3 and 2. Walden drafted in the 12th round by the Angels 7 years ago. Saved those 32 games as a rookie in 2011. It's an Angels record for a rookie pitcher. Another foul ball by Snyder. '25-year-old from Kirkland, Washington, Travis Snyder. Traded over from Toronto last summer. Played in 50 games and he tried to play through some injury. Ball bounced towards short. And Snyder is retired and the Bucks go down in order. And Mazzaro looks to finish things up. Here's a look at the road ahead for the Pirates, brought to you by Nissan. Tomorrow, our old friend Paul Mahallam goes for the Braves. Bucks will counter with James McDonald. We have a struggling James McDonald, as we said earlier. It might be his most important start in his Pirates career. And for Paul Mahallam, he's looking at a 3-0 mark, and he has not given up a run in 20 1/3 innings. Vin Mazzaro delivers to Andrelton Simmons, ball 1. Mazzaro pitched the 9th inning last night.
Mazzaro's numbers on the year. Was it Mazzaro that knocked a mask off Russell Martin?
Yes. Have you ever seen that before? I was on with Steve, and I asked him the same question. Have you ever seen a catcher take a fastball to the mask from the pitcher without anybody?
You know, it's one of those things where I'm sure I have, but I don't remember it. You see a lot of foul tips in the mask.
Right.
Just a pitch, just go clean in there and hit so hard that it knocked the mask off his head. That was a little unusual. Obviously, he got crossed up. When you're looking breaking ball, you get a fastball. Ball doesn't get caught. Usually that ball hits the umpire. That's how you see the umpires really get hurt. He's looking, breaking ball, and it doesn't break. Thought it stunned him for a moment. He realized where it was. There was at least one runner on base when that happened.
Hard hit and a nice stop. McDonald gets to his feet but can't get a throw off. A base hit for Simmons, just the 2nd of the night.
They didn't have the grip, so he thought better of it. Trying to get the dirt out of his glove. Oh, I see. He fell on the ball. But then he picks it up, and I think he's got a shot right there. But yeah, you can see the ball wasn't in his hand properly. He couldn't make that throw.
Bounce right side. Jones to second for 1. Back to first. Oh, what a pretty pick by the pitcher, Vin Mazzaro.
Yeah, I can play some first. Beautiful pick.
Well, he did that like he had done it many times before.
Well, he has done it many times in the last month. You do this every day during spring training.
Picking the ball out of the dirt.
Yeah, a little pitcher's fielding practice. They're always doing this stuff.
They actually practice that ball in the dirt like that?
Oh, yeah. He gets over there, gets his bearings, able to stop at the bag. Nice play. He's fighting a smile, but you know he's got to be wanting to break some kind of a smile with that pick in the dirt.
I've got to believe that Mazzaro had plenty of experience in a position player's role in his younger days. 1 out from facing the minimum, and this would be the 3rd time the Braves have been shut out this season. So all 3 of their losses were shutouts. Cliff Lee and the Phillies blanked them the 3rd game of the season.
Be interested to see when's the last time they sent the minimum to the plate in a 9-inning game.
On Wednesday afternoon, they were shut out 1-0 by the Royals in Atlanta. Ramiro Pena goes down. Raise the Jolly Roger. Wandy Rodriguez and 2 Pirates pitchers combined to 2-hit the Atlanta Braves, and they face the minimum.
Well, that was about as dominant of a win as the Pirates have had in a long time. Offense came out just slugging the ball all over the place. Extra base hits, the long home run by Alvarez, and the other side of things, an incredibly dominant pitching performance. Wandy was just absolutely perfect. Well, almost literally perfect, as the only hit he gave up, that was erased with the ground ball double play.
How about that? 27 batters faced by the Pirates pitching staff tonight.